Hello, hello, and welcome back for another adventure in the cookie jar. Today we are doing the 14th recipe from the Key Lime Pie Murder. They are called Blonde Brownies. Oops. That one right there. Now, there is no actual chocolate in this recipe. I was not expecting that for some reason. So, what you're going to need to do is preheat your oven to 350. You're going to want 4 1-ounce squares of white chocolate. The equivalent to 3/4 cup white chocolate chips will do fine. 3/4 cup butter, that's 1.5 sticks. 1.5 cups white granulated sugar. 3 beaten eggs, just whip them up in a glass with a fork. 1 teaspoon of coconut extract or vanilla. 1 cup flour, pack it down in the cup when you measure it. 1/2 cup of pecans, 1/2 cup of coconut, and 1/2 cup white chocolate chips. Now, I thought those were strange because normally it says how to cut it or how to process it. But if you look in the recipe itself, you're putting those 3 items into a food processor, which white chocolate melts very quickly. Putting that in a food processor makes me think I'm gonna end up with a mess. So we'll see how that goes. My first thing is this goes in a 9x13. Normally brownies go in an 8x8. So these are either gonna make a lot of brownies, which does not look like you're gonna have the ingredients for, or it's gonna be very thin brownies. Not sure, we'll see. But as far as making them goes, it seems very straightforward. Melt the butter and the white chocolate squares, mix in the sugar. Once that cools off, you add in the eggs, you add in the coconut extract. While that sits, you blend the nuts, the coconut, and the white chocolate together. And then you dump that, stir it in, bake it off at 350 for 30 minutes. Cool it off and cut them up. The only note on this recipe is Joe Fluke's note. First one I've actually seen that says Joe Fluke and not Hannah. It says, I developed these blonde brownies for Laura Levin's party when she launched the 3rd book in her Jane Austen mystery series, Killer Blonde. So, let's get these whipped up and see what they are. Here is everything we will be using for today's recipe. So, as per the book's directions, we have a 9x13 lined with foil, sprayed with nonstick spray. Just set that off. We have our butter chopped up, and to that we are just going to add the white chocolate. It says for a minute, and then to keep stirring and mixing for 20-second intervals till it's completely melted. If I can get into the chocolate. All right, into the microwave it goes for a minute. All right, now we're just going to give it a stir. All right, I think all of the pieces have been melted up. I'm not seeing any more chunks. So that means we are going to add in the sugar. That is actually pretty cool. I don't really feel like I need to let this sit because I don't feel it is warm enough to cook the eggs at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and add those in. And now the coconut extract. Now once the flour added. And the flour is always my toughest part. When it says just mix it till incorporated. Because sometimes you get lumps, and they say that's okay, but then you end up with bumps in your product. Yes, we are mixed. Now, to the blender, we are adding the pecans, the coconut, and the part I am most worried about becoming a mess, the white chocolate. It just says to chop them together. We're gonna call that good. Although it doesn't look like the chocolate chips actually chopped at all. But it definitely took down the nuts and the coconut. all of this stirred in. All right, now retrieving our pan. This is what we have going in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes. And then we're gonna let it cool, and then we're gonna see how it tastes. So it has been baked, and I have cut it into squares. This is what we came up with. So these are the blonde brownies. This is what we ended up with. And I am going to share mine with this little one. All right, ready? I'm just remembering that you don't like coconut.
This one.
What is that?
That's what got this good.
You say they're good?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're good too. They're very, very coconutty. They're very moist too. They're not like dry or crumbly like some of the chocolatey brownies.
Also, this time I'm not going to indulge this entire thing like last time.
Good call. But overall, it made a lot more than a box brownie mix would. They have enough height that they're not flat. I don't feel like they rose at all because there's no real rising agent to them, but they did come up a little bit. They're very good. They're very tasty. They're sweet. Like with white chocolate, it is very sweet.
Definitely.
Next week, we are doing Ruby's deep fried candy bars. It is the last recipe in the key lime pie murder. And I guess we'll see how they turn out. I don't actually have a deep fryer, so we will be doing them in a pot on the stove. So it could be a mess. It could be the best thing I've ever tasted. We shall see. If you are interested, join us next week. Bye.